Hello, this is Chach from the Switzerland team, and I will explain to you the construction process of our Love Live costumes. First of all, let's talk about some general stuff. As we wanted our costumes to match together as much as possible, we used the same techniques and the same fabrics, ribbons, threads, bias tapes, buttons, etc. on both of the costumes. We choose shiny and pretty fabrics such as silk, taffeta, velvet and tulle so that it will give a shiny look that will fit the idol concept. All the patterns for the clothes and for the designs of the decorations were made by ourselves. One of the difficult parts of these costumes was to be able to reproduce the piano and music score parts and all the golden decorations. For these, we used the following techniques. Each black ribbon part was lined with a thermoadhesive fabric and fixed on the garment. Then, we sewed all the parts to be sure it will not move anymore. The golden decorations were either a golden stripe that was sewn on the garment or, for the most parts, hand embroidered and finished with some Swarovski crystals to make it even more shiny. On Maki's costume, the music notes on the skirt were made out of vinyl thermoadhesive sheets that were fixed on the fabric with an iron. As we couldn't hide the backside for these parts, because they weren't lined, contrary to the others, we felt it would give a cleaner look because nothing would show on the backside. All of this was a very time-consuming process, but we tried to be as precise as possible. It was really difficult to reproduce the piano pattern on a circular shape as it's normally a flat one. So we had to do a lot of trials before we could have the best pattern that would fit the design. All the parts of the costumes are cleanly finished. They are either fully lined, overlocked, or completed with a bias tape, a ribbon, or some lace. The corsets are both made of 3 layers: the outer silk layer, a layer of stretched jeans to add some strength and give it a better shape, and the lining layer. All the jewelry parts are customized. We bought jewels and modified, assembled or completed them with nylon thread and pearls to match the reference image. As we only have one reference image, some parts are missing on it, and we tried to design them as logically as possible to match the rest of the outfit. We chose the shoes accordingly. The wigs were styled a bit, mainly on the front part. Maki's wig also had to be curled a bit on the bottom, and we had to make the braids. One of the other difficulties was to find matching golden fabrics, buttons, ribbons, etc. We had to make a lot of research and compare all the different parts to make sure every golden tone would fit well together. As for some more specific parts, Hanayo's orchestra baton and note decorations on the headpiece were made out of black warbler, sanded, primed with glue and painted. Maki's hat base is made out of cardboard, covered in fabric and decorated as already explained before. The veil parts are overlocked to have a clean finished look. And Hanayo's tights design is made out of Swarovski crystals individually glued on the black parts. The black tights were then assembled to the nude tights underneath. The little golden jewel was hand casted with some resin, sanded and painted. It doesn't figure on the reference image, but we decided to add a petticoat underneath the skirts to add more volume, because the result without it seemed too flat. We made the petticoat out of tulle fabric and white satin ribbon. Every rose on both costumes was handmade. We burned the edges of each stripe of satin fabric we used to be sure to have a clean look overall. We then folded and hand-sewed every strip in the shape of a rose. We glued a fabric leaf that was bought on each rose and sewed all of them to the costumes by hand. One last detail, we also decided to add some Swarovski crystals on certain parts of the costume, like the roses, even though it doesn't appear on the reference image. Again, we thought it would fit the idol concept better and that it would give an enhanced look on stage. We also made sure during the construction process that we would be able to move well in the costumes, as we are doing some dancing during our performance. So we hope you will like our costumes and we can't wait to wear them on stage at the World Cosplay Summit.